that he was his weakest form when he fought Lomachenko. He said he was at his weakest form, all right? And he said he had to lose 5 pounds before the fight. And if he knew what he knew now, he would have just not lost the weight and beat Lomachenko's ass. The problem with that is the fight was at 126. So you was 131 when you fought Lomachenko right before you weighed in. That's what you was weighing 7 years ago. And all you did was talk about how you wanted to, how everybody in all the other weight classes was ducking. Everybody you called out, none of the motherfuckers was there at 126. For the last 4 years, the people that you've been calling out has been at 130 or 135 and even 147 and 140. All of them people. You've been calling out a bunch of people that you're not even, especially Tank. You started with Tank like 3-4 years ago. But may I remind everybody that your ass was 130, walking around 130 7 years ago when you lost to Lomachenko. Like, what's taking you so long to move the fuck up? Like, that's why I've been saying all of these years that nigga he's comfortable with fighting once a year. When you hear him talk about that shit, he talk about it like it's a fucking playground, like it's a circus, like it's some type of event that you take your kids to. I plan on going back and going back to what? Boxing? That's what you plan on going back to? Like, bruh, why you sound crazy to me. Like, the nigga sound, I can't make none of this shit up. Out of everybody that this nigga's ever fought on his resume, everybody. You know how other people fight? Like, you know how when Tank fought Cuellar, nobody gave him respect for Cuellar, even though that was a vacant title fight. Like, who the fuck? Nobody's going to turn down a vacant title fight just because their opponent isn't probably as good as they should be. Who the fuck? It's a vacant title fight. But Cuellar he was a formal champion. If you look back on Gary Russell's record, he's fought nobody who's ever been a champion. There's no formal champions on that nigga's resume, nowhere. He's fought nobody. The only person who's ever had a title was the person he got the title from. And he was 34 years old when he fought him with 7 fucking losses. That man had 7 losses. He was 34 years old. Way past his prime. The man started at 100. The dude that Gary Russell got that WBC title from started at 118 and lost his first pro fight. His second pro fight was at 126 and he lost that too. The man had 7 losses. He was 34 years old, and that was the only person who ever had a title. Everybody he ever fought never was a formal champion. But he walked around this bitch and talking like he's a goddamn king of some shit.
And
he's not.
To go sit his ass down somewhere.
I knew he wasn't gonna fight no damn Devin Haney, but when Best Fight the Best made that fucking, when he made that fight, that nigga just he ducked Devin Haney.
It is what it is, man.
That nigga ducked Devin Haney. That is some straight up. That nigga ain't fight nobody, yo. For
still
real.
Ain't fighting nobody.
He still ain't fighting nobody. And they asked him now, I plan on moving up. Nigga, you been saying that shit for 3 years. 4 years. You been saying that shit forever. And it's been 7 years you've been walking around at 130. Tank just had a fight at 140. Shut the fuck up about Tank. Shut up. Shut up.
All that.
You're not even fighting at your natural weight class. You old as fuck, and you've been fighting at 126 your whole career. Your whole career. It is what it is, man.
Mm-hmm.
Can't make up none of this shit. And you sit there and say, nobody knew who Lomachenko was until he fought Mr. Gary Russell. Like, bruh. I don't know why he says that shit. The nigga only had 2 fights. Who the fuck knows anybody that had 2 pro fights? Who? Who knows anybody? Of course nobody knew him. He only had 2 pro fights and he lost one of them. Of course. So?
Right.
What's your point? I don't get it. What's your point? It doesn't make any sense to me. Hey, nobody knew who he was. Okay, and just like what I said for the longest time, you're at fault. You're the motherfucking reason why Lomo was so big and better than fucking sliced bread. Best thing since pans with pockets. It's your fault. Because he went in that bitch with 1 win, 1 loss after losing to Salido and fought your 24-0 ass and whooped you. It's your fault. Let's talk about that. And the problem that you can't give nobody any fucking credit. He sat there and was like, "Oh well, I fairly they ain't no kinks in my arm, and you know what I'm saying, and I fairly lose rounds." And it was like, and the guy that was kissing ass was like, "Oh well, I guess it was, maybe, I think the last time you lost the round was against Lomachenko." Gary was like, "It might have been." What you mean it might have been? You lost that fight. How you gonna say it might have been? Yeah, bruh, it was. You lost a round, yeah. You lost more than that too, bruh. You lost a round when you fought Jojo Diaz. I know that for sure. You lost a round when you fought Jojo Diaz. You lost one of those. I don't even watch his fights enough. Right off top. I can't make none of this shit up. His whole life. I don't even know how old Gary is. He's been at 126 his whole life. You talking about Tank when he was at 130, and now you're still talking about him. And Tank has fought at 130, 135, and 140. You're still talking about Tank. It doesn't make any sense. And the only animosity and he got so much hate for Tank, it's ridiculous. And the fact that he can't give nobody credit makes me sick. Like anybody who says all of the people that they want to fight is trash, why the fuck do you want to fight them then? You don't say nothing good about anybody. Show me the tape. Show me the tape. When he said anything good about somebody that he wants to fight, not somebody that he already fought. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody that he's been talking about. Show me some tape where he said something good about Devin Haney, Javante Davis, or Lomachenko.
That's right, Jay Dixon. That's exactly right now.
Nigga don't give nobody no respect. No respect. And he expects somebody to give him pay-per-view shit, give him big check shit. Like, are you kidding me? Why do you want to fight these people if you don't think they're any good?
And you just want to be talking to try to remain.
But if he really want us to believe what he's saying, we wouldn't be behind those fights. We would want you to fight somebody that's challenging. Those people, in your opinion, ain't challenging.
I don't believe nothing he say, no way.
For you to sit there, and then for him to sit there and talk about, oh, well, me and Tank numbers would be the best numbers in all of boxing. No, they won't.
I was trying to figure out where he even got that from.
It's the best fight in all of boxing. No, it isn't.
I was trying to figure how he could even fix his list.
Every time he talk about Tank, he talk about numbers or money. One or the other. Both of them kind of the same shit. Like, we already know what you want. You want a big payday. And that, if you ever get Tank, your ass is going to retire.
Man.
You're not going to fight again.
He might as well give it up.
For what? So he got another mandatory, and y'all can check out whoever that is. Y'all can check it. I can't remember what his name is. I think it's something like Mark Maceo or something like Maggio, something like that. But that's supposed to be his next opponent since all he fight is mandatory. This is just how I feel about him.
That's what I feel about Shakur Stevenson. His last fight.
That's true. Gary may need to move up or move anywhere to have more challenges. I've been saying that shit since 2017, 18. I've been saying that shit in 2018 for sure. That nigga need to move up. or he's just gonna be doing the same shit that he's doing and complaining. He's not even complaining. He just says this shit with a smile on his face. He likes it.
Yep. He like
What everybody else be like, they dunked me and that nigga be smiling. They be ducking me, Shaw, you know what, no, Shaw. Like, nigga, you like this shit. The fuck? You so happy about it for? Some
They
people
just
still
like anybody ducky. They don't
this shit
fuck
is
with you,
so
dog.
easy playing games. Right. I'm about done with him. Pushing 34. It's Gary Antoine turn. I hope he ain't moving the same. Antoine is the goods. That's the one that's on at 140. He's the goods.